Good evening, Cosmo girls. My name is Irene Puente. I'm the beauty editor of Cosmopolitan Philippines, and welcome to a fun and exciting YouTube live session with us. So, as the title of the program today suggests, we'll be talking to a licensed dermatologist to ask your questions about unwanted body hair removal. This video is presented by Cosmo in partnership with Veet, as the brand aims to promote skincare awareness, especially concerning the removal of unwanted body hair. As you know, Veet has, a variety of products that cater to different skin types. But we'll talk more about their hair removal products later. So be sure to stay tuned. So hello guys. So eto na, mag-uusap na tayo about the hard to ask questions yung manahihiya tayo. So since the start of community quarantine, I'm sure most of us sariling sikap na when it comes to removing our hair, body hair kasi wala sarado the salons and the clinics. And ganun talaga eh. We have to cover it. But of course, before that, like before we decide on doing things for na tayo talaga yung bahala, we have to know the precautions, especially when we're dealing with the delicate skin ng underarm, ng bikini area, and ng legs. So, how do we keep those areas smooth and bright while, keeping it hair free? And then we also have to address the issues na chicken skin, ingrown hair, discoloration. So, pati rashes actually. So, lahat ng yon we will discuss today. So, if you have any questions, just, comment nyo lang sa YouTube, like, kami nang bahala, like, we got you girls. And then, since hindi nga tayo makapunta sa salon these days, don't worry kasi Cosmo Girls, Veet has got us. Sorry, nabubulol pa ako kasi kinakabahan ako. So, hello dyan sa mga kinakabahan din ngayon. Anyway, so lahat ng yan matututunan natin today to keep our skin so silky and smooth and of course bright while we're staying at home during MECQ. So, yun, huwag nyo kalimutan, mag-send kayo ng questions, tsaka syempre, makinig kayo sa discussion namin. So anyway, enough na yung airtime about me. Let me just introduce you sa ating mga guests tonight. So, we have Cosmo Cam Crew, Julia Sukgang. So, ano rin siya, fitness guru, ganyan. Kung gusto niya maging quarantine, check her profile out later. Mamaya, we'll drop the IG handle. And then, of course, yung ating source of information, lahat ng kailangan natin malaman tonight, si Doc Erin Santos, aka The Nerdy Derma. So, fina-follow nyo ba siya sa Twitter? Follow nyo siya kasi marami kayong matututunan. So, yan. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Hello, Cosmo Pam. Hello, everybody.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Excited na kayo?
Ako excited na. Marami rin akong gustong malaman eh. Tsaka, it's so different kasi we're going to talk about things na hindi na pag-uusapan lagi.
Yes.
Okay, so diretso na tayo dun sa topic kasi malamang marami na nag-aantay na girls. So ikaw, Julia, okay, this is going to be a very a different question. Hindi mo tanong ko every day. So, let's talk about your body hair concerns. So, would you say na you're balbon ba or not so much naman?
I would say na I'm not in the balbon area or balbon level rather. I'm probably between balbon and super hairless. But then there are unwanted hair that I still want to take out, such as like the underarms and sa legs. Kasi actually a football player and I find it irritating when I pull up my socks and may mga spikes coming out or medyo itchy siya. So, pati sa armpits kasi I also do mga online events and online coaching. So, I have to make sure I'm free in those areas. Comfortable ako. Ayun.
So, what do you do to keep those areas hair-free? Like before and ngayon?
Ayun. So, generally, like what I mentioned, I would keep it hair-free through waxing. I go to usually mga wax salons. Pero since nga we are indoors, I ended up resulting to what do you call this? Yung shaving and prick plucking also. Ayun. So, yun yung convenient, usual na methods natin mga girls. Pero yun lang, nasusugatan siya, nagiging irritated, nagiging itchy. So, may downsides din siya, even if it's convenient. Yun lang.
Nako, actually, parang same din tayo. Wala rin kasing tayong choices. So, we try everything that we can. So ito na, Doc Erin, we need your help. So, kasi we want to know din kasi, like, in general muna, like, general topic, like, do some women have more body hair? And Pero ano yung causes nito? Ano yung nakaka-affect dun sa dami? Kasi yung iba balbon eh, yung iba hindi naman masyado. So,
Mhm.
what factors?
All right. So, do you know there's an official term for the balbon? So it's called hirsutism. Wow. So there's something nerdy for tonight. So hirsutism, it's actually caused by abundance of the male hormone testosterone. So when you have lots of that, it's commonly seen in this condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome. So it manifests as yung thickening of hair, especially in the um, area, the underarms, the mustache area, even the eyebrows, the legs. So, yun. Aside from a hormonal imbalance, you can also have lots of hair if you're predisposed to it. For example, if your mom or your sister has lots of hair, then it's likely also na marami ka ding hair. Ano pa ba? Your genes. So, for example, have you noticed? So, I'm sure maraming mahilig sa K-drama or yung mga K-pop. So, kita niyo yung glass skin. Their skin is like super smooth, halos walang hair. So it's because their genes are predisposed to have very, very fine hair. So compare that to women of Middle Eastern o kaya South Asian descent. So Filipinas, we're lucky kasi we're in the middle. So between the almost no hair and then the very, very thick hair, we're right in the middle. So yeah.
Okay, so is there a medical benefit ba when we remove unwanted body hair? Kasi meron kasing questions rin sa readers comments namin na you may assumption na if you have more body hair, mas prone ka sa body odor. I mean, we wanna know, totoo ba siya? Like, or kailangan ba talagang magtanggal ng hair? Yun.
So in if you're correlating hair with body odor, it's not automatic. So you can have lots of hair but still have no body odor. However, um, for there's a study actually on this one wherein they tested if just by being alone, for example, underarms, they tested na they just washed with soap if it will remove the body odor, and then they compared it with a different set of individuals wherein they shaved or waxed. So they removed the hair and then they washed it afterwards. So they found out na if you remove the hair, the improvement of odor is way, way more significant. So aside from that, we also shave hair for medical purposes. So you guys have heard of yung crabs or yung lice, body lice, kuto in the genital area. So the treatment for that is just shave the pubic hair. So marami siyang purposes, hindi lang siya cosmetic.
Okay, so at least hindi lang siya vanity girl. So meron siya talagang
Oy,
benefit.
pero wellness is not just absence of teeth. So if it makes you happy, di ba?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I do agree. Okay, so meron tayong shoutout sa ating viewers. So Luis Ferrer, go Ira, go Julia, go Doc Erin para sa atin. And then from Bianca Laksamana, watching from Cainta. Hello din sa mga ibang taga Cainta. Hello. O yung mga taga South naman dyan, represent din naman kayo. From Junel National, hello din. So, okay, so let's continue with our discussion. So, eto na, dito na tayo sa medyo palalim na yung topics. By the way, kung maraming questions kayo, later babalikan namin kayo. Basta tanong lang kayo, babasahin namin yan. Okay, so, Julia, so, since ngayon MECQ na, or actually, ever since we started quarantine, how did your hair removal routine change?
Ayun. So it actually did change from when we could go out pa and everything. So like what I mentioned nga, I used to go to waxing salons. Pero when we had to stay indoors, I resorted to plucking and shaving because it was the most convenient thing to do. And I was so scared to go out. I was so scared to go out. So I was scared to go to kahit mga convenience stores at that time. And I saw na although natanggal nga yung hair ko, pero nagkaroon naman ako ng chicken skin, ng ingrown hair, and then nag-irritate na rin siya. So, talagang tiis ganda. Yeah, may downside din siya, even if nakakatanggal nga siya ng hair. And before then, I also, because I did mga waxing salons, I found myself spending more because we had to buy mga ointments and lotions to keep the skin smooth, mga maintenance, kumbaga.
Yeah.
ayun, I found myself spending more. Kaya I felt na medyo hindi rin siya sustainable. Ganon.
Okay, so segueing natin 'yan kay Doc Erin. Naku, Doc Erin. So, ayan, na-mention na ni Julia yung common skincare issues natin like chicken skin, ingrown hair, and most likely siguro sa ibang cases, discoloration na din. So, ano yung pwede nating gawin to prevent them?
I see. So, before tayo makarating dun sa after effects ng hair removal, we go through the different methods kasi different types of hair removal. You can remove it by shaving, waxing. You can have the cold or the hot wax. And then you also have yung creams or yung hair removal creams and even light-based devices. So you can see that yung may ilaw, tapos they
Mm.
move it over the skin. So each of those, we have different types of you have to be careful of. So for example, make sure to use yung sharp razors for waxing. If it's the hot wax, make sure that you can tolerate it because you can get burns from using the hot wax. For the hair creams, it's super important you have to read what's on the box. So if it says patch test first, that's super important because you have to make sure that you can tolerate the hair removal cream. And then what else? So for the light-based devices, you have to I don't really recommend those. I'd rather you stick with the hair removal creams, the waxing, or the shaving. So for the after naman, for example, chicken skin, you can use products which contain mild exfoliating acids. Very common. For example, kojic acid, AHA, BHA. You can use that a few days after doing the hair removal procedure because if you do it immediately after, it's gonna sting. So do it later. And then also, I know it's so satisfying. You see the hair bump, tapos you're tempted to squeeze it out. Don't do that. Kasi a lot of us are morenas. If you do that and then the hair goes down, you can develop what we call folliculitis. So you can have bacterial folliculitis. So you can have lots of infections, and then after the infection, you have the darkening. So sobrang headache. So don't do that. Yeah.
Okay, medyo malakas na warning 'yon from Doc Erin. So you mentioned then na yung ibang may mga devices and merong methods na dapat
Yes.
professional lang yung gagawa. So,
Mhm.
ano yung safe na at-home removal methods that you would recommend? And then ano rin yung parang stick na lang tayo sa professional, like kung gusto talaga natin yung magtiis muna tayo?
Yeah, so easier for me yung wag na lang, which is yung hot wax. Kasi especially if it's your first time, you really don't know, you can talagang burn. And then the area example, we usually use it in sa genital area. So the skin on the vagina, on the vulvar, sorry, not vagina, the vulvar area. So that's where the labia is, where the mons pubis is. That's thinner than your face. So imagine you put hot wax on that area, tas hindi ka marunong. So I'd rather you avoid that. And also the light-based devices. So tatakutin ko kayo, things, they target the pigment on your hair. So that's what it needs for it to kill the hair. So you know what else has pigment? Your eye. So the retina, if that gets shot by the light-based device, not something you would want. So leave those to the professionals.
Medyo natakot naman ako.
Diba?
But yeah, tama naman din. So that's an educational tip for everyone. So okay, so to recap, kung gusto niyo na sa bahay, just stick to hair removal creams and cold waxes, no, Doc?
Yes, and then
Kung
shaving also.
and yes, and then shaving, and then I wanna reiterate na lang din yung aftercare na pwedeng gawin. Like sabi mo, like wag mag-exfoliant agad, tama ba?
Yeah, wag muna kasi those are acids. So think of it this way. So let's use cold waxing as an example. So what it does is, so it melts the wax and then it goes on top of the skin and then the hair is there. So pag it stiffens up, it catches there. So technically it's just like blocking it like that. So imagine the top layer of your skin, it also becomes stripped off. So even if, for example, sanay ka nang gumamit ng AHA toner on the genital area, if you remove the top layer of skin, you become more prone to irritation, to um, even burns, kung ganon. So let your skin heal even overnight or 1 to 2 days later before you do the AHA BHA toner on the area. Avoid the ingrown hairs. Another thing you can do is it's safer to do physical exfoliation. So, for example, after you wax or after you shave, you can use, for example, yung loofah, yung little poofy things.
Mm.
You can use that to gently rub the area while you shower, not dry. So, habang it's wet, yan.
Okay, thanks, Doc. So, ito muna, punta muna tayo sa shoutout sa ating viewers. Hello, thank you so much for watching us. From Neca Briones, hello from Batangas. Wow, South talaga. Okay, yay. And then from Ana Victoria Morgallo, watching from Laguna South, represent. Hello, ayan, fellow Saudi. And then Camille Rodriguez, hello from Manila, ayan. Hi, hello Manila. Yung iba rin nating Manila viewers. And then from Erica Tababa, hello, Doc Erin. And then from Leonard Waga, watching from Cabuyao City, Laguna. Hello! Ay, ang daming taga Laguna, in fairness. Okay, so move na tayo dito sa mas inaabangan na topic. So we'll deal with underarm hair and skin. Ito na. Like ako din, like personally, I do have questions. Okay, so Julia, so you sinabi mo kanina na you tried waxing before and then plucking and yung, what else? Shave. Did you try shaving na ba your underarms?
Yes, I've tried shaving also. Madami ng methods.
Marami na siyang pinagdaan.
Oo nga.
So, well, na-discuss naman na natin yung parang skincare issues na you've encountered. So, since siguro by now you've mastered a kilikili skincare routine, Cosmo girls are very excited to know, very nosy kami about kilikili care. So, maybe you'd like to share your routine?
Yes, of course. Actually, yun, as someone who I expose my armpits a lot. It's very like important for me to make sure it's not just hair free, but it also looks parang ano naman attractive. Hindi naman yung parang ay oh my god, 'di ba? Ganong type. But yeah, as I mentioned, I went through a lot of routines, so I'm really basing this off parang experience. And each method has its pros and cons. And marami sa kanila masakit. Marami sa kanila sobrang sakit. Lalo na yung mga waxing, especially in the big areas, like the legs, the arms. But then when we go to the kilikili, ayun, I found I guess the one, the one, which for me was the hair removal cream. Given that now we're indoors, it's very convenient nga to go to mga convenience stores to get it. So I came across one and when I would apply it, parang it exfoliates it din eh. It exfoliates it, it takes out the hair without any pain. And then very easy lang siya. So ako kasi I like to do things really quick and convenient. If it takes me a lot of time, I'd rather not do it. And lalo na if it costs me a lot of money. So, syempre, budget. Kailangan pasok sa budget. So, yun, I eventually ended up with the hair removal cream. And basically, it has everything that my armpits need to stay smooth and ano rin, parang smelling fresh. Kasi very important yan. I work out. So, I don't want naman na habang nag-workout ako ng ganyan, biglang naamoy. Kasi mahihilo ako at mahulog na lang, ganon. So, I don't want it to get in the way of my workout, basically. Yun.
Okay, from that, so Doc Erin, we want to know, since nandito na tayo sa usapang underarms, so the most frequently asked question ng Cosmo Girls is, how do we deal with discoloration? Tapos, what causes this? And then, does the hair removal method affect it? And what type of products can we use to help lessen it or even out the skin tone?
Okay, so say this with me. Redness equals darkness. So yung mantra natin for morenas. Kasi anything that makes your skin red, it will make it turn brown. So, yun. So, ano yung mga things that will make it red? There are two camps kasi, the waxing camp and then the shaving camp. So, there's no true camp. Whichever works for you, na hindi ka nakaka-feel na irritation, hindi mo nakikita na namumula yung skin mo, you can choose that one. Tapos, ano natin? What causes discoloration? So, yun nga, anything, yun pala, be careful of using those, mga green peel, red peel, yellow peel, those things. So, di ba you want to make it lighter? So, please consult a board-certified derm instead of like applying whatever on your underarms. And then, in terms of hair removal, I would agree that the hair cream, the hair removal, will be yung likely to cause a discoloration as long as you do the patch test. Kasi if you react to it and then yes equals darkness nga. So, that's it.
Okay, so yun ang motto natin, guys. So, redness equals darkness. I think it can be applied to all parts of the body, no, Doc?
Yes, especially sa face. So, be careful.
Oh my God, pati sa face. Okay. So, meron kasing girls who prefer to use razors. Meron ba kayong tips to reduce the possible effects? Yung kasi pag shinave mo kasi minsan mas prone to darkening or discoloration and minsan nagkaka-texture din siya.
I see. So, first is make sure na the razor is sharp. Tapos, wag mo nang tipirin kasi you're gonna use it. And then it has to be clean kasi if it becomes infected, that's when all the folliculitis stuff will come in. And then another tip would be, try to shave after taking a shower so the hairs will be soft. Tapos, you can even, and then I also will recommend, for example, the use of, ito naman sa guys, so hindi lang naman siya sa girls or sa guys, diba? So for the guys, if you're going to shave, I would recommend the use of those shaving creams or even hair conditioner. So that's what I use. So hair conditioner, kasi it reduces the friction between the shaver and the surface of the skin. So less abrasions, yon. In terms of the chicken pox, chicken skin. So for the chicken skin, so for the underarms ba ito specifically?
Underarms muna
So
tayo.
for that one, usually it happens. It's either you're predisposed to it or you can even actually have a certain condition na nagkakaroon ka ng chickenpox like bumps on the skin. So for that one, I would suggest to consult a derm again, so to make sure that it's just chickenpox and not something else. But if you're sure that it's chicken skin, you can use the HA/BHA toners or yung mild exfoliating acids to help with the texture. Just make sure na go super slow, like low concentration, 1 to 2 times a week to help with the texture. And the smell, it also helps with the smell.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Doc. So from razor naman, let's go to those mga nagpa-laser. Kasi ako, I do laser sessions kasi para to maintain yung sa underarms lang naman. So, pero nag-stop kasi ako. So, what can I do to keep my underarms hair free na hindi madidisrupt yung laser sessions?
I see. So, important lang naman with the laser is you should, before you go to the laser session, you should have hair already there. So, important thing is just don't remove the hair a day before the lacing session. So, and technique, if you want to have, you want to take care of your underarms, and you can do the either waxing. So again, for cold waxing or the hair removal cream. So you can do that to maintain the underarms, and then um, don't put any strong substances. So even just think of it this way: if you want to put it on your face, don't put it on your underarms.
Tama naman. Oh, wait, may pahabol palang question. So yung para to prevent ingrown hair, may direction ba tayo ng dapat na pag-shave or wax?
So good question. So actually, I will say na don't stretch the skin. So ganito siya. So for example, this is your skin and this is the hair. If you shave it so na hindi mo siya binabanat, no? So hindi mo sinestretch yung skin, nandyan lang siya. If you remove it, it will cut the hair at this level. So hindi ganito na lang siya. So if it rolls out, diretso lang siya. So does that make sense? I will demonstrate naman if you stretch the skin. So if you stretch it, the hair is parang it protrudes more outside, like so. So instead na nandito na siya, it protrudes like that. So you here at this level. So it retracts. So kung ano man yung matira doon, it goes back. So imumove ko na siya. So magiging nandito yung endpoint. And then when it regrows, yun yung nag-loop siya on itself. Nagiging ganon. So try not to stretch the skin. Does that make sense ba? Gusto, ulitin ko ba?
Basta yung kunwari, Oh, guys, kunyari ito yung underarms. So, wag mong babanatan ng ganyan.
Oo.
Huwag mong
Kasi
gaganyanin.
the hair, parang mo siyang hinihigit. So, when you cut it, bumababa ulit yung skin below the surface. So, yun yung hindi siya naka-expose outside. Nagbe-bend siya on itself. So, yun yung isa sa risk factor for developing ingrown hairs. So, just relax. Huwag kayong masyadong mag-stretch ng
Okay.
skin.
So, girls, ayan, let's relax when we wax or when we shave. Okay, shoutouts muna tayo. So, from Deb Taylor, hello from Makati. Yes. Basahin ko ba yung emoji mo? Cat emoji with heart eyes. And then, from Sheena Patricia Camille de Guzman Mendoza. Hi, Doc Erin. And then, from Eka Abaya, watching from Pasig. Hello, hello. Okay, ayan, dami pala. From Pauline Marcelo, hi, hi, Mrs. Santos. Okay. From Claire Ann Navarro, watching from Laguna. From Ana Luis Antangco, Doc Erin, pina-follow ko po kayo sa Twitter, so helpful po. Yung, ayan, mga nerdies ba yung tawag sa atin? And then, thank you viewers sa mga questions. Basta mamaya, we'll address all of them later. So, ngayon, before tayo may information overload, let's take a short break. Pero to fun. So, quick game lang muna. I'll be asking a few questions. Tapos, send yung answers nyo via comment. So, kailangan medyo bibo tayo dito Who knows, you might receive a special gift. So, game na ba tayo? Game? Okay, mag-pause muna ako. Bigyan ko sila ng time. Mag-ready ng keyboard fingers nila. Okay, start na ako. So, name at least 2 basic skin types. Ayan, 2 lang girls. Magbibigay ba ako ng clue? Alam nyo na yan, lalo na kung nagbabasa naman kayo ng Cosmo.
Ayan na.
Ayan na, ito na, ayan na.
Ayan na.
Malalaman na natin kung sino yung Bibo for tonight, the first Bibo girl. Sige, magbibigay ako ng clue. Ako medyo kasi shiny ako madalas. Shiny skin ako. Tapos, medyo prone to pimples ng bagets. And then, large pores. And then, ikaw, Julia, ano yung mga...
Ako medyo parang desert.
medyo parang desert. Grabe naman.
Clue yun.
Si Doc Erin, tanongin natin.
Ako, dito desert. Tapos dito, monti ko nang sabihin. Shiny dito. Yeah, shiny.
Shiny. Shimmering, splendid.
Ayun, nakatulong naman yung ating short chat. So, the Bibo for tonight is Bernadette Leonardo. Sabi niya, oily and dry. Thank you so much for being Bibo. Okay, ito na. For the others, let's give chance to others naman. So, ito, second question. Myth or fact? Shaving makes unwanted body hair grow thicker. So, yan. Magbibigay ba ako ng clue dyan? Parang hindi ko lang paano magbigay ng clue about that
Sample.
Dito, mag-shave ako, tapos let's wait. Charot.
Oo.
Ayan. Ayan. In fairness, ang bilis ng Cosmo Girls, So, sabi ni Jared Flores, myth. So, correct answer. Kasi shaving doesn't really make the hair grow thicker. It just makes just blunt. So, yung strands niya mukhang fuller. Tama ba, Doc? Tama ba yung ating...
Parang siyang square. Rectangle yung dulo. That's why it's sharper pa kaya para hawakan.
So, hindi totoo na sa guys na pag nag-shave kakapal? Okay, sorry guys. Hindi pala totoo. So, more testosterone pa lang kailangan natin.
May sasabihin ako about that.
Mamaya discuss natin. Okay, so ito na, last question. Bibo girls, push natin to. Okay. So shocks, medyo mahirap to Parang ako mismo hindi ko alam yung sagot. How many strips are in a regular box of beeswax strips? Nako. Pabilisan na lang yung mga talagang users, ayan, malalaman natin.
It's between 0 and 20. Ganon.
Oo, parang ganyan.
Mga ganong clue.
Ano na lang siya? Even number.
Yeah.
Ano
Is
pa
it
ba?
your favorite number?
Parang medyo, paano ba to? Ayoko kasi give out Gusto ko makita talaga kung sino yung Veet fans talaga dito
Oo nga
Okay, wala pa tayong ano ah. Wala
Ayun,
tayong ayun.
meron
Okay.
na.
Mer
Nag-research, nag-Google.
nag-Google, it's either nag-Google siya or Veet fan talaga siya. But I believe na Veet user ka talaga. So, hello to Anna Victoria Margallo, 12 daw. So yes, the correct answer is 12. Yung strips na yon are very easy to use. And then, so as in, easy grip lang siya. And then they come with yung perfect finish wipe. So, you can wipe off the excess product. Kasi when we wax, meron natitirang parel. So, easy na for you. Like, everything you need, it's there. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Okay, so balik na, okay na yung break na yon, nabuhay na ba tayong lahat? So everyone's alive now. So we can proceed to the next question. So ito na, yung section na ito na Doc, yung bikini area or yung
Yeah.
vulva.
Mm.
So Julia, I'm really sorry, but we have to know how do you how do you prefer because how do you prefer to groom your bikini area? So, do you go bare or, may way ka ba? May artful, ano ka bang ginagawa?
May pattern. Wow, may ano siya, may design. Actually, I was actually anticipating this question eh. So, it actually depends on siguro the event that I'm going to kasi actually I'm preparing for a physique competition. So kapag physique competition, you really have to be in a bikini, and you'll be walking, you'll be posing, so you have to be parang comfortable then with moving around. So in cases like that, I actually had to get it waxed. And boy, did it hurt. And to think I have a high tolerance for pain. Parang sobrang I'm crying inside, ganon. So I had to, syempre, make sure na bare siya. And also when I swim, or go to the beach, syempre I want na walang getting in the way, ganon. But, yun, talagang nakaiyak siya and it felt like something that I don't see myself doing all the time. Yun.
So, so ngayon bang MECQ, are you doing anything to maintain the bikini area? Kasi hindi ka naman din makakalabas and I don't think may online physique competition ngayon.
That's so true. Pero, like actually what Doc Aaron said, it's not just about, kasi tayo, we can endorse, di ba? Parang ano nyo kung what, naka-shave ba siya or what, di ba? You guys wouldn't even know. So, but it's more for like what makes you comfortable, what makes you happy. So ako, right now, I still continue to maintain it being bare, pero I actually use the hair removal cream. And I found it to be very convenient kasi nga hindi siya masakit. So amen to that. Amen. And it's actually the cream is specifically for that area. So like what Doc Aaron said, you have to be particular with what is for the face, what is for, 'di ba, kung different parts of your body. And I found one that is specifically for that area. So, yun, parang I feel more yung nga, free, more free. And actually kasi I like to wear mga tights and leggings. So it does get irritating if nag-grow na siya. Lalo na, kapit na kapit yung pambaba ko. So, ayun, I found it very sustainable also. Hindi ko na-imagine na I'll be getting irritation, I'll be getting those bumps. So, yun, that's something that I finally discovered. Yun.
Okay, Julia, thank you for sharing. So, lahat na tayo alam na natin.
You know.
Share ko rin ba? Anyway, so Doc Erin na mention rin ni Julia that she found a product na talagang made for safe for the bikini area. And you also mentioned earlier that we have to be careful when using any products or applying any products on our vulva. So
Yes.
meron ba kayong tips na parang kasi syempre like just think of it na we're clueless then what to do eh.
Mm-hmm. So for the vulvar area, it's a very specific area. So why? Kasi the skin in that area, okay, mag-nerd out ulit tayo. So meron tayong tinatawag na keratinized skin and then yung non-keratinizing skin. So what's the difference? Keratin, so touch your cheek. Your cheek has yung keratinized na skin. So, ibig sabihin nun, it's stronger compared sa skin inside your mouth. So, when you touch the side of yung inside part of your cheek where your tongue touches it, that's similar. So, those two types of skin can be found on the vulvar area. So, a lot of times you'd think na, pwede naman, for example, this cream, pwede naman face, I'll just use it on the vulvar area, or mas mahal doon, so magtipid na lang ako. So, yun yung usual conversation with ourselves. So, don't, try not to do that kasi the products meant for that area are very specific. Kasi yun nga, it's very sensitive, it's the thinnest, one of the thinnest skin on the body, and then, so remember the mucosa. So that's the non-keratinized skin. That one, if you put harsh substances on that, wala siya nung shield or protection like the one on your, like the keratinized skin. So very prone siya to irritation. Not to mention, like Miss Julia said, when you wear tight underwear or tight clothing, so the area is already moist. I hate that word. So it's moist. So it's prone to, for example, chafing. I'm sure naka-experience na kayo yung pag nag-scratch yung skin nyo, for example, sa thighs. So if you chafe, prone to infection. So you have to be careful in that area. In that regard, very special siya. So you have to take care of it accordingly.
Ayun, girls. Special talaga. Totoo naman, it's a really special area. So, kailangan special care talaga. So, Doc, kasi meron din kasing assumption na, do you think it's more hygienic to remove pubic hair sa bikini area? Kasi, kunyari, pag moist or if you wear certain tight clothing, parang, which are the instances na advisable to trim the pubic hair or remove it?
In terms of hygiene, I wouldn't say na it's if you're hairy, no, you're dirty. If you're smooth, clean ka na agad. It's not like that. If you opt to keep the hair in the pubic area and then you wash it every day, keep it, you cleanse it, tapos you change your clothes. I'm sure hindi na kailangan sabihin niya na maligo every day, especially with the pandemic. So, even if you hair there, you'd still be clean. On the other hand, for example, you wax, tapos you wax dirty hands, you don't wash before waxing. So, hindi siya yung basis ng cleanliness in that area. In that regard naman, if you find yourself na it's itchy when the hair is growing and then you start to scratch, and then when you scratch, you get wounds down there, then you may benefit from hair removal. So, it's an
Okay, thank you, Doc. So, meron pa bang ibang things that girls should avoid when removing their own hair? Like their body hair?
things to avoid. Maybe let's try things to do. So, for example, if it's your first time, I would suggest, number one, don't, what's the word, tapat? Don't, o yun na lang, huwag mong itapat yung waxing session mo during your menstruation kasi when you're on your period, you're already in what we call an inflamed state. Yak parang galit, no? So when you're inflamed, sobrang dami mo na agad na, you're already parang baseline, your threshold is quite lower. So kung inflamed ka and then you wax your hair during that time, it's gonna be more painful. Tapos if you find that it's painful during the first time, may tuturok sa yung technique. So there's this thing called gate control theory. So another nerd thing. So there's this theory na if, for example, mag-wax ka, have you ever noticed na if you wax yourself and then you do like this afterwards, parang nababawasan siya?
Yes, yes.
Pansin niyo yun? Kasi it's thought na the pain, your brain doesn't sense pain if there's another sensation na non-painful. So if you're gonna wax, I would suggest na start in small area. Naman yung parang pilas mo, ganun agad. So start small and then check mo muna if you can handle it. Tapos if it's painful, then you can do the tapping motion with it with a pain. And then what else? Ano pa ba? I got lost. Ayun.
Siguro aftercare na lang after waxing. Like what should we apply? Kasi of course sometimes namumula siya. So what can Cosmo girls apply on the skin after waxing?
Okay, so for the redness, there's this common thing na sinasabi nila na don't wash after 4 hours. Ako, I personally don't follow that. So, if for example, if I wax the underwear area, I actually want to wash almost immediately after just to make sure na it's clean, walang leftover wax. So, I don't think it's true na, so oh my gosh, baka sabihan ako. I don't think it's true na yung 4-hour procedure. As long as you do it hygienically, then it's okay to wash that area. And then another thing is, for the redness, there are those soothing creams, but ang problem kasi with the soothing creams, if it contains products like steroids, for example, even hydrocortisone, those things should be controlled and should be monitored by your derma. I would not suggest buying those from Mercury, for example, from the drugstore. On the other hand, if you have like your trusted moisturizer for your face, na bland, unscented, no other additives, then you can also put that on your, for example, the vulvar area to help facilitate the healing of your skin.
Okay, thanks, Doc. So, okay, ang dami nating natutunan. So, let's head on to the shoutouts first. So, from Margarita Contreras, Ira say hi to me. Hi, Reti. Hello. And then from Emiko Yamazaki, watching from Malabon. Hello. Hello sa mga taga Malabon. And then from the Cosmo EIC, Jillian Gacheco, Kili Kili Care, let's make that happen. O, yan, Doc, ha? Let's make that happen, Kili Kili Care. Abangan namin yung mga tips mo next time. And
Sure.
then, And then from Mikey Agulto, I think Julia para sa'yo to, gusto ko rin maging quarantone. And then from Ashad Bernales, I love how candid and open this convo is. Thank you. Okay, we try, we really try. Okay, so that's all. Ito na. Ay, shucks. Final tips and advice. Ito na. Like, if we have mga, yung mga pabaon natin sa girls. So, ikaw, Julia, so sa lahat ng everything we've talked about in this YouTube live, what do you think should girls remember when dealing with unwanted body hair? Like when at home, like what should they do?
Ayun, so first of all, I'd recommend to also do your research then kasi we all have different types of skin types and we don't necessarily know what's really for us. Not necessarily what works for this person will work for us also. And I found that there are a lot of available hair removal methods out there and skincare, but I suggest going for what is sustainable for you and not just convenient and efficient, no? Pero something that you can do in the long term. Kasi baka ngayon nga it works, it does the job, pero later on na-damage na yung skin mo. Parang it's not just about looking good now, but looking good in the long run. So, kahit indoors tayo, it's nice to take this time to really parang take care of your skin, take care of your body. Kasi baka naman yung nga, hairless ka nga, pero naging bantot ka naman. Parang gano'n. Hindi porket hindi tayo nakikita-kita in person. 'Di ba? Parang you still have to take care nga of your whole body, not just those areas na tatanggalin mo ng hair. And yung nga, there are problems like discoloration, like Miss Dr. Erin said, yung ingrown hair, though she described na pumapasok ulit sa ano. So, it's good to really look into the right ways on how to take out the hair. It's good to experiment, pero research first. Yun.
Okay, so meron ka bang like recommended na parang easy and painless way to do it? Kasi syempre, some girls like who are watching right now, like medyo like they're unaware or clueless din sila like, oh, ang dami pala information. There are so many factors to think about. So, any other tips like for the girls who are starting to really like make a hair removal care routine part of their MECQ life, let's say?
Yes. So, ito rin na-mention din ni Doc Erin, yung ligo. Mas kidding. I think you have to really point that out. Mas kidding. Pero, ligo-ligo din pag may time. Kasama din yun sa skincare and hair removal routine. And I think I've mentioned this over and over again during this whole YouTube segment, is the hair removal cream. And I actually use Veet. So, sakto because This is Veet, a Veet Live, and I can actually show you guys how you can use it. It's not really hard and it's super convenient. So when I try to work or use the hair removal cream, I there's a spatula that comes with it. So I just apply it. So make sure to know that parang the type of skin that you have, because there are different variants that it has. So meron siya for oily, like what was mentioned, yung mga nanalo, congratulations dun sa game. Marami siyang variants. So it's also good to take note of that. And to do a patch test. So a patch test nga is just testing a small part of the area that you want to take out the hair. Um, and just try that muna kasi baka naman it doesn't work for you. Agad-agad mong atat na atat ka, linagay mo na lahat. Tapos pag ano mo, ay hindi pala for you. So, good to take up to do a patch test first. And then once you apply the cream, right, use the spatula actually to apply it. Parang there's like the rounded side of it. Parang may pa demo pa. And then once personally after 3 minutes pa lang, although you're given a max of 6 minutes before you take it out, by 3 minutes pa lang I already start to take out using that side of the spatula where it's pa-curve inwards, and that's where I take it out. And more often than not, I see the hair coming off already. So if possible na wag nyo na hintayin yung buong 6 minutes, that would be great, kahit 3 minutes pa lang. But if you see that there's still mga stubborn hair na ayaw pabebe pa, ayaw pang lumabas, then you can stretch it out to 6 minutes, but not more than that. Yun. And I also use then, actually, yeah, Doc Erin mentioned about the cold wax strips. So, fortunately, Veet has that as well. So, all you have to do is, so, syempre, as the name states, it's a strip. So, you just have to warm it up using your hands. And then once you apply it dun sa area that you're going to take out the hair from, all you have to do is just like strip one quick motion. So wag ka munang you don't have to make it slow. So one quick motion and then apply the what do you call this? The parang the perfect finish wipe para matanggal yung residue or the excess product that's there. So yun, with the hair removal cream and the wax, the cold wax, it parang nagche-check siya sa, it puts the checks in my checklist when I look for mga hair removal products. So 5 items yon. So I look for one that moisturizes, that exfoliates, that leaves the skin fresh, smooth, and syempre hindi nagda-darken. So yung nga, baka nga wala kang hair, biglang dark naman. So yun, I want it to look attractive, and at the same time I want to look good and feel good at the end of the day.
Okay, so it sounds na madali siyang gamitan kasi I've been using Veet din na yung hair removal cream sa legs ever since I use the sensitive skin type. So anyway, so thank you so much Julia for sharing everything. Now, Doc, meron naman din kaming question for you. So are there any conditions that we should note before trying out different methods of hair removal, kunyari based on our skin type? Like what,
Yes.
like do we have to be careful din kasi syempre?
Uh-huh. Julia did a very comprehensive explanation. So, to summarize the important thing to remember, I think just please read the instructions. So, whichever product you use, just go through it. And then, if it's at 6 minutes, don't go beyond to 10 minutes because there's a reason why it's at 6 minutes. And for don't be swayed by other people. If shaving or cold wax works for you, then it works for you. Don't feel na parang, ay, bakit ako hindi nag whatever. So, what else? Be gentle on your skin, especially those on the sensitive areas. Tapos, keep those areas clean. I think that's already really good with what Miss Julia said.
Okay, so yun guys. So we have to take a bath even though, you know, most of us are lucky to stay at home. Kaya mo yan. Okay. So eto na, we'll head on na to the questions from our viewers. Thank you so much for waiting, like, how while we discuss. And, okay, so meron pa palang shoutouts. Wait lang. I, Arabels, I love you. Hi from the South. Love you, Julia. Coach ko yan. From Teddy Pena. Hello. Ayan. Tapos, eto na, Doc. I think parang most of this are directed to you, the questions. So, mag-ready na tayo. Okay,
Ready
so,
na tayo.
yeah, so let's get ready. So, Andy, from Andy, the question is, waxing or sugaring, which hair removal method is nicer to your skin?
Both of them are very traumatic. So, sugaring, I think, comes from may sugar, molten sugar dun sa medium. But the concept is the same. You apply this hot substance on the skin, and then when it solidifies, it blocks the skin. So I can't really say which one is better. So it depends on what you prefer.
Okay, so depende pa rin. But of course, like, as with everything else, all hair removal methods, mag-patch test muna tayo kahit na waxing or sugaring pa yan.
Yes.
Let's don't forget Doc Erin's advice and pati rin yung tips din ni Julia.
Oops,
Okay,
ito
so,
pala.
oh,
Sorry. For the wax and sugaring, check how they apply it. Kasi make sure now they use a disposable, for example, a wooden stick to apply it on your skin. Kasi if you reuse it, you can actually get infections if they reuse the whatever metal spatula if they're not clean about it. So for example, ginamit sa previous client, it wasn't disinfected, and then it applied sa you. You can actually have viral conditions like molluscum contagiosum, herpes simplex. So not very things to have. So if you see na they throw it after they use it, and you're okay.
okay, so meron mga mention si Doc na very nerdy terms. But I think it's safe to assume na pag ganon, it's not great.
Yes.
Parang spell yun ah.
Parang spell, no.
Spell.
Oo, parang ganon. So let's end on to the second question from Bea Villaluz. Are there tips to make waxing less painful? Ayan. Like, meron bang ways, Doc? Para, kasi masakit talaga siya.
Yes, I know. Yeah, right before your period, right after your period. Number two, have your waxer small areas at the time. Ako, I prefer na dun muna kami sa talagang sa masakit na area. Tapos we'll just go to the less painful area. It's up to you. And then think na have the waxer tap the area. After it wax, diba, ganon, tap mo siya para hindi na ma-focus yung brain mo dun sa your brain will just focus on the tapping motion and so it will lessen. And then interestingly, if you wax frequently, you get used to the pain. Not really, it doesn't really go away, pero you get used to it. There's numbing creams you put on the skin so it makes your skin numb. You can try that, but problem is, that area is very sensitive. And from my friends who do that, it's not really effective in now. You can take anti-inflammatories, for example, paracetamol if you're not allergic, right before the procedure.
Oh, okay, so kung right before the procedure, Doc, like how long should we take the paracetamol to lessen the pain?
Oh my gosh, off the top of my head, I can't remember yung concept of action. I would say 2 to 4 hours, but don't quote me on that. Check nyo, Google nyo na lang just to be sure.
Okay. Okay, so for the third question, is it okay to, from Jonelle Nacional, is it okay to use deodorant right after I shave?
Right after you shave. In my opinion, yes. Kasi shaving, it's just very superficial. So I don't think you would be prone to allergies doing that.
So, pero Doc, do we need to watch out for some ingredients sa deodorants or parang any deodorant, it's fine, like diretso ng application,
So
it's fine.
good question. You don't have to be scared of any particular ingredient in your deodorant. The important thing is yung effect ng product on your skin. So, for example, it says hypoallergenic, good for babies deodorant, good for sensitive skin. However, when you apply it, makate, your skin becomes red, it stings. So, even if the product says that, then it's not for you. On the other hand, people say, wow, wag yung brand na yan kasi hindi yan maganda. But hiyang siya sa'yo. then PM siya sa'yo. So, your skin will tell you if it doesn't like it or not.
Okay, so bottom line, listen to your body pa rin. Like,
Yeah.
okay, from Margarita Contreras. Doc, what do you think of face shaving to get smoother skin? Kasi parang uso yata siya ngayon, Doc, na marami nagsishave ng faces nila. So, we need your opinion and advice.
So that's what we call dermaplaning. So basically, like, yeah, shaving of the skin on your face. So technically, it's just mechanical exfoliation. So when you see it, diba, you see the peach fuzz. So you remove the baby hairs on your face. If I mean, it will smoothen the skin on your face. However, since we tend to have like thicker hairs compared, kasi nauso yun sa, like, for example, in social media na nakikita nyo, di ba, na ginagawa. And then sa atin kasi, we have thicker hair. So if you shave it, it becomes like the blunt end. So when you touch it like that, it becomes more prominent. I would suggest instead to do chemical exfoliation with your acids, as long as you do it slowly and then uh, low percentage. So that's what you can use.
Okay, thanks, Doc. So, this is a new concept pa lang to Pinay. So, we're just taking it all in, lahat ng sinasabi niyong tips. Okay, from Mikey Agulto, what are the downsides of not waxing or shaving? Kung meron ba?
Downsides. Well, if you're used to waxing and shaving, then you'll just not like the idea of having hair. But downsides, I can't think of any. Ang caveat is you keep the area clean so it doesn't smell. So, yeah, or it doesn't, whatever, like develop infection.
Okay, thanks. Okay, sige. Actually, oo nga, wala rin naman ako maisip na
Yeah.
downside. It really depends on your preference then. And of course, the bottom line is you have to keep the area clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like whether you're hair free or not, you gotta keep it clean. Okay, from Junel again. So for leg hair, so should we shave upwards or downwards? Kasi hindi naman natin siya sinestretch yung leg. Like we just, shave it. So what's the right direction?
I would, so the answer would be, ako I shave upwards kasi it's smoother yung overall effect. However, if you do it too fast or you do it with a blunt razor or for example, you do it like dry shave, yung risk mo for getting cuts is higher if you go opposite grain. So if the hair is like that and you do like that, higher risk for cuts. But if you go the other way around, ang disadvantage niya is I find that there are more hairs left behind, so you have to go back more. So, yun lang naman. I guess if you're careful, you can go against the grain.
So, Doc, quick follow-up question ko na lang kasi madalas din when you shave
Mm-hmm.
your legs, nagkakaroon ng strawberry legs. So, how do you prevent? Yung parang dot-dot sa legs. So, how do you prevent
Ah,
that? Yeah.
all right. So those red dots, I don't think they're actually from shaving. People probably confuse. There's this condition called keratosis pilaris, on nerdy terms na naman. So, keratosis pilaris, what happens is there's thickening of the skin around the hair. So, if this is the hair follicle, it becomes thick around it, and then there's sometimes the inflammation around the base. So, that's what you see the red dots. So, that one is actually a medical condition, and steroids will help that, as well as emollients or moisturizers which contain either urea or mild exfoliating acids to help remove the thick skin around the hair follicle.
Mm. Okay,
Mhm.
so ayan, meron na naman tayong bagong nerdy term na natutunan. So, from Cheska Santiago, okay, she asked, what is the best or safest hair removal method? I think this pertains to at-home removal kasi nga, walang professional na nag-attend sa atin. So, what can you recommend, Doc, that we can try at home?
Safest would probably be siguro same line is uh, using hair removal creams, using co-waxes, and using razors. So it depends on which method you prefer.
Okay, so preference pa rin, Cosmo Girls.
Mhm.
Okay, so from Deb Taylor, any post-care tips for after shaving the underarms? Like, meron ba kaming nakakalimutan gawin?
Shaving. Like after maligo, if after you take a bath, usually okay.
Oh, okay. So, ganun lang kasimple. Tsaka
And
pwede
then
rin go ahead,
ano
Doc.
na eh, di ba, I think nababasa sa social media you put the AHA BHA toner on the underarms. It allegedly helps with the odor, the area odor free, and then it also, if it's AHA, BHA, it help lighten the area, and then what else? It can help improve texture. However, again, go slow and with a low percentage.
Okay, so again, I think it goes back to listening to your body talaga, no? How it
Mhm.
reacts to the products that we use. So, eto, meron din, this is a interesting question. So, from Christy Regalado, is it true that it's not okay to wax or shave the other parts of your body, kunyari, the underarms, during your period?
Yes, kasi masakit. Well, actually, yun lang naman dahil it's painful. However, for example, you have to wax even on your period. For example, like Brazilian, you can actually do that. What you do is wear a tampon, tapos clean the area, and then you can just wax. Kaso yun nga, it's gonna be way more painful. So if you can wait after 2 weeks after the period, you'll be um, in a more comfortable state pag nag-wax ka.
Okay, so interesting, interesting fact. So let's take note of that. And then from Gasatan, how do you treat a wax burn kilikili? Nako.
Wax burn kilikili. Sige, so wax burn, you mean like for example, it's extremely hot and then you put it on the kilikili?
Probably ito yun, Doc.
I think that's what burn is. Um, I would wash it and then apply like either a soothing moisturizer. Ang technique kasi kung na-burn ka, for example, sa hand, wash it with cold water to keep the wound dry, and then you can put a moisturizer na bland, huwag yung may mga colors or strong fragrances. And then if it develops, another nerdy term, we call it a bola. So a bola, it's yung nakaangat siya, blister. That's the official term for blister. If it's a blister, you can um, like lift just one side of it to let the fluid out. So you'll be more comfortable para nako-close mo siyang ganon. However, don't peel the blister roof kasi it serves like a natural band-aid. So hopefully hindi naman blister level yung wax burn.
So mali, Doc, na i-prick kasi sometimes yung iba piniprick yung parang blister.
Blister. If you prick it with a sterile needle, keyword is sterile, wag yung kuha ka lang ng pardible kasi hindi na siya. So we actually, ang term doon is drain. So the fluid inside, kumbaga, it impinges the healing process. So you want to remove that and then keep the groove. So if you use a sterile needle, parang siyang can ng condensed milk. Prick one side and then you prick the other side. And then you remove the fluid inside.
Oh, okay.
Clean.
Clean. So, kailangan
Clean.
sterilize. Okay, sa
Yes.
dami ng sterilizing products natin ngayon, I guess, there's no excuse to use a random pardible. Okay, so from G Makabodbod, can you use Veet sa underarms? I use it sa legs lang. I think for Julia to, kasi from personal experience.
Yeah, actually, you can use it for underarms. Depending, again, you just have to check lang the instructions. Kasi baka makita mo lang, ako'y Veet. So, it's good to always check the label. It's always indicated naman there para saan yung product na yon, which parts of your body. Kasi there, I believe, Veet also has products for the face. So, baka gamitin mo yon for your armpit. So, yun, just be aware lang of para saan ba talaga yung product na yun. But yes, Veet has a lot of variations and pwede siya for different parts of the body. Ayun.
Okay, so thank you, Julia. Ayan. So for girls na who are still thinking or parang wala pang idea what they would use for unwanted body hair removal. So if you want to take a safe route, siguro yung let's go for the tried and tested na. And as Julia said, like we have to look at the products talaga and do a patch test. And just like what Doc Erin has said, so you have to listen to your body. Like if kunwari, if may reaction talaga, you have to stop. And ayun nga, don't use anything na parang painful on your period kasi iba yung I guess pain tolerance natin when we have our period.
Yes, yung period magiging exclamation point.
Ayun, oo.
Ganun intense.
Ayun. Okay, so ang ganda nun, benta yun. Okay, thank you so much, Julia, and thank you, Doc Erin, kasi this is such an interesting discussion and we talked about things that you don't usually discuss like out loud or siguro with a few group of friends lang. So, and I think that we help a lot of Pinays during their yung mga woes nila sa unwanted body hair removal, especially na MECQ kasi salons are closed and we only have to be I guess smart with what we do on our unwanted body hair. So, thank you so much again, Doc Erin. Thank you, Julia, and thank you to all our viewers. So, girls, to be sure to check out and try Veets products the next time you need to deal with unwanted body hair. Tapos, by the way, you have to watch for this kasi on August 8, there's a Shopee 8/8 sale and it's the best time to get your Veet stash at a discounted price. Ako, like, personally, I will hoard. And then, please follow Veet Philippines social media pages. So, Facebook nila and their Twitter. So, and also YouTube for more useful skincare tips. And also for you to be updated sa mga sales nila, especially yung naku, I advise mag-add to cart na kayo para mag-check out na lang kayo on that day. Okay, so Doc Arian, Julia, you want to promote your social media handles? Julia, siguro yun na lang first.
All right. So, yan po, you can follow me in Instagram at I am Ramona Julia. You can also follow the team that I organize, Extra Rice Manila. That's RISE. Baka you might type yung actual rice. Ayun. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube also if you guys are on YouTube.
Okay, thank you, Julia. So, follow natin siya. And also, let's go to Doc Erin. Doc Erin, yan, i-plug na natin yung para sa nerdies natin and future nerdies.
Hi guys. So for skin tips and then for misconception busting, so you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm at the Derma. So yan.
Okay, so ako naman magpa-plug. So please follow Cosmopolitan Philippines on Instagram. So we are Cosmopolitan_Philippines on IG. And then for all things beauty, we have Cosmo.PH.beauty on IG too. And then if you want yung mga super chill na like talk or about anything under the sun, we have our Facebook group Cosmo Mixers. So you can just search it on Facebook and then just join the group. And then we're also on Viber. So if you want to be updated, like, you know, you're doing something and mas ma-Viber ka talaga, we plug in the new anything like showbiz or beauty tips or kahit yung lifestyle tips like about plants. We also discuss it there. And if you're feeling Gen Z, you gotta check us out on Cosmo TikTok. So our TikTok username is Cosmopolitan PH. So, yun guys, thank you so much. I had so much fun. Sana pwede pang mag-extend ng chikahan. But you know, I took so much of your time. And thank you to everyone who watched and who stayed through our whole YouTube live. We hope you learned a lot. And if you still have any questions, you can always tweet si Doc. And if you have quarantine questions then or body hair questions, you can also ask Julia on IG. And of course, you can also message Cosmo.PH if you have any questions. So yun. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.